It's snow time. That means show time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so as by the title you saw, activation of nakshatras in snow in Vedic astrology. What the hell does snow has to do with that? Nothing. I just wanted to make a clever title. However, if you look at it, snow is what? Cold. Snow and ice takes a long time to form and long time to dissolve, which means it's controlled by Saturn. So I am in Saturn environment. Ice cream and ice and jams and oil, anything which is underground that takes a long time to form and long time to dissolve is ruled by Saturn. However, talking about activation of nakshatra. When do nakshatras actually activate? Very good question, because somebody asked me this after I made my last video on ascendant nakshatra. This is something that I learned from my main man Sam Jappi, that whenever you run through the Mahadasha of a planet, whichever nakshatra is ruled by that planet, and if a planet is sitting in those nakshatras, it becomes alive. Also, especially your ascendant nakshatra, whenever your ascendant nakshatra activates, that is when you will see how life just either progresses, becomes alive. There's a lot of busy things happening. How does that happen? Well, if your ascendant, let's say, Angelina Jolie nakshatra is Pushya, okay? So anytime Saturn comes into play as a Mahadasha, Antradasha Lord, it activates the Pushya nakshatra of the ascendant. But especially Angelina Jolie has Venus in Pushya nakshatra. So I believe she went through her Venus Mahadasha majority of her career. So Pushya nakshatra was active. But especially if you don't have any nakshatra or planet in the nakshatra, and then you run through the Mahadasha of the planet that controls the nakshatra, that will bring your ascendant nakshatra alive, meaning that your entire life is now alive and ready and focused and kicking. And that is how you see the activation of the nakshatra. So let's say if you run through Ketu Mahadasha and Jupiter is in a nakshatra of Mula or Ashwani, then that nakshatra is becoming alive because that planet is activated. So Jupiter in this nakshatra will become alive, and however Jupiter is situated, you can experience something related to that Jupiter. Now, let me also make it more simpler. So like I was giving the Jupiter example, let's say if you are a Ashwani nakshatra in your ascendant, okay, and at the age of 10 or any age you go through the Mahadasha of Ketu, then what's happening is Ketu is activating your ascendant, which means your existence on this planet, okay, it's finally kicking in. It's finally becoming alive. So if let's say your life was not going anywhere, you were just not doing anything, like nothing was really happening, as soon as this nakshatra kicks in, you will see the effects of your life just come alive. Like whether good or bad, that's something that's a secondary thing, but things will start coming alive. Now in a good way, depending upon where your Ketu is placed, because you want to see where your ascendant nakshatra lord is placed. So if Ketu, let's say in the 5th house, at the age of 10, it can show great achievements in research towards academic research in academic subjects. So let's say if your Ketu is with Mercury, then one will be suddenly finding love towards mathematics, physics, but also, certain conjunction aspects can make a person go towards a very awkward life, like Mercury Ketu, as much as it makes a person intelligent, it also makes them a little bit of in an awkward side, that they will become ODC. They will suddenly want to make everything perfect, and if it's not perfect, it'll drive them a little bit nuts. Or just like any other planet, like a great example I can give is of Punravasu nakshatra. If let's say you're a Gemini ascendant and your ascendant nakshatra is Punravasu, then what's happening is wherever Jupiter is placed, first of all, your ascendant will become alive. So when Jupiter Mahadasha runs for 16 years, you're suddenly going to be, life is just suddenly going to start kicking in. You're going to feel very hopeful about things, and you're going to be like, let's take action. Things are going to start happening, whether it's education life, whether you're in your prime of your career, even in retirement. You're going to be like, okay, let's have something, like, you know, where people make dramatic changes at the age of 60, 70. It can also happen due to a Sun and Nakshatra, where they suddenly want to start a business at the age of 60. You know why I'm saying this? Because my own mom just did that. Obviously, I haven't checked her chart, but you can see how people change businesses, start new businesses. And so wherever Jupiter's placed, you're also going to be able to see how that effect is going to be, how those effects are coming. Are they neutral, good, bad? How are you going to experience that life when it's active? So very important to see the timing of activation of nakshatras. All right. So I'm going to go back to my shoveling now. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe below. Again, if you want to know where your nakshatras are, what your sun and nakshatra is, all the planets in your nakshatra, for that check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology Conjunction, and Aspect of the Speed of Light, including all my consultations at Del's link here. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.